Hey guys, I hope you're doing well today. This is going to be my best makeup products of 2020. As you know, as I mentioned in like so many of my videos throughout this year, I haven't been wearing makeup every day like I used to. I started working from home this year at the beginning of the pandemic, which is a big change for me because I used to wear makeup every single day. So this year I don't have as many makeup products as favorites as I normally would, but I still have some solid products here. And I tried to put more on the list that I haven't mentioned previously in previous yearly favorites because I do love a lot of the same products still. They just might not be on this list. Like the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation I still love, and the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation, the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. I still love like all of those products, and I just don't want to seem super repetitive with these favorites videos. First, I want to start off with makeup tools, and I have two of them. Sorry, they're both dirty. I did wash my brushes and sponges like a couple days ago, and I did use them today for the first time since I washed them. So they're not terribly dirty, but they're still kind of dirty. So the first one is my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you would know I typically use the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, but I don't feel like the quality's held up for them, and I feel like the Real Techniques sponges are very inconsistent. I've had really good e.l.f. face sponges this year. I haven't had a dud, so I'm going to continue to purchase these ones. You can get one of them, I think, for $4, and I think a set for $8 or something similar to that. I really enjoy these sponges, and I'll continue to buy them. And then I might have mentioned this in my previous yearly favorites or even like a current favorites, but I really wanted to mention my Morphe M510 highlighting brush. I love this brush for highlighting. It is very precise, and it's more of a natural hair brush, so it's not super stiff, and it just blends out the product really nicely. Like, it's flimsy but still dense enough to apply the product and blend it out really nicely. I did use it today for my highlighter, and I do really love this brush. Morphe has some pretty affordable brushes. Moving on to face makeup, my favorite primer this year was the Too Faced Major Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. I got this massive size at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's earlier this year, and I still have it. I'm pretty close to finishing it just because this was pretty much the main primer I used this year. So it is more of a lotion consistency, and if you blend it out, it doesn't have any like shimmers in it or anything. It just provides an overall glowy base, which I love. I love this primer so much, and I'm excited to have a backup of it. It's just been such a good primer for me this year. My favorite foundation that I tried this year has been the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation. My friend Lisa introduced this to me. She's been using this for at least a year now, and she would always tell me how good it was, and I was like, okay, like whatever. And then I eventually purchased it off of her recommendation. I recently finished one of these and repurchased it, and I have the shade in F4. Here's what it looks like. I do think the shade is a little bit orangey peachy for me, but it does work for me even now in the winter time. I should have worn this today for the video, but it is more of a satin to dewy finish, and it is medium to full coverage depending on how much you feel like building it up. I do think it's very comparable to the Milk Stick Foundation, which I used up earlier in 2020, and it's just been such a good foundation. I love a dewy base. The stick foundation just makes it really convenient. You don't have to get like foundation all over your fingers. I use a sponge to blend it out, specifically the e.l.f. sponge, and it just looks beautiful. I don't have a favorite concealer or powder or even a bronzer. I like the products in those categories that I have in my collection currently, but nothing has really stood out to me this year. So I'm going to move on to the other color products for face. I have two highlighters to talk about. The first one is the J.Cat You Glow Girl Baked Highlighter, and this is in the shade Crystal Sand. I accidentally broke this. I don't remember if I dropped it or if the packaging just stopped working, but the top did come off. It's really pretty. It is more of a champagne light gold shade. Here's the J.Cat highlighter swatched out. It's intense, but you can kind of build it up or tone it down a little bit more. I like that baked highlighters, typically you can be a little bit more buildable with them. This one is such a random discovery this year, and this is the In Studio Cosmetics highlighter, and this is in the shade Champagne Glow. Here is what mine looks like. I dropped it originally when I first got it, and then I repressed it, and now I'm almost completely done with it. This is such an affordable highlighter. It is only $1. So this is the Champagne Glow highlighter compared to the Crystal Sands from J.Cat. As you can see, the Champagne Glow is a bit deeper. I think they're trying to go for a dupe compared to Becca's Champagne Pop, which I've panned, I think, 2 of those before. And I do think it's pretty similar. I just think Champagne Pop might be slightly lighter and a little bit more golden. I am wearing it today. I did blend it out with the Morphe M510 brush, and it just looks really nice on the skin. My favorite blush this year was the Found Beauty Baked Illuminating Blush, and this is in the shade Peach Glow. I've been wanting to try more Found Beauty products for a while. I've tried their sheet mask, which I didn't love. I think it broke me out. And I also love their Firming Kudzu Night Cream. I have been using that for over a year now, and I just love it. But I wanted to try more of their makeup, and this is such a beautiful blush. It is a baked formula, so I do find it to be very buildable on the skin. It does have that beautiful kind of champagne swirl throughout it. I wouldn't recommend this if you are much deeper than me. I think this would work for fair to light skin tones. If you're medium skin tone, I think it could work for you as a highlighter, but not quite as a blush. I am wearing it today as my blush. I definitely had to build it up a little bit more, especially when on camera, because it is a very light blush, so on camera it can kind of not look as vibrant in real life. Here's what the swatch of the blush looks like compared to the highlighters. I love it for my skin tone because personally I don't love when blushes are too pigmented just because I am so fair, and it has a really nice formula, very smooth, and I really hope they come out with more colors because I would definitely buy more of them. Moving on to the eyes category, I have a base or eye primer, and this is the PLouise base, and I have it in the shade Rumour 1. This is an eye primer, but it is more on the thicker side, and it does have some coverage. I got this when I went shopping with Lisa back in January. I think this is the second to lightest shade. I think the lightest shade is just a white. So this is the PLouise base blended out, not on the edges so it blends with my hand, but you get the picture. Love that it helps give me a nice canvas to put my eyeshadows on, and it does help my shadows last all day. Another eye base type of product that I have that's a favorite is my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Cottage Cheese. I think I forgot to mention this in my last year's yearly favorite, so I wanted to make sure I mention it this year. These pencils have been around for years, like ever since I started watching YouTube, like my freshman year of high school. And this is what pretty much a new one looks like. I have used up so many of these. I think I've used up just 3 of them this year and more last year. But this is a cream base that is a white shimmery color. And this is a great color to put on your lids to make your shimmers pop. And I think this would work on a bunch of different skin tones, especially if you're just using it on your lid because it could just intensify the color you put on your lid. I've been using this for at least a year and a half now, and I've gone through a lot of these. I love using this to intensify my shimmers, and I'll continue to purchase it. Moving on to eyeshadows, I'm gonna reach into my Z palette. I did previously have like a Sephora Z palette, but I had this Colourpop one that I had in my makeup artist kit, but since I haven't done makeup on anyone since the pandemic, I decided to just keep this for myself. So I'll open it and show you what my palette looks like. It's definitely like a hodgepodge of different brands in here, but the shadows that I wanna talk about are these 3 right here. These are JD Glow Cosmetics shadows, and these are the best shimmers that I have in my collection. They are super intense. This one right here is Fairy Acid. This one is Unexpected. This one is White Gold, and they just look so intense and beautiful on the lids. They're super intense. The shadows are extremely soft, and as you can see in the swatches, they're very reflective, sparkly, and my favorite ones are the Galaxy shadows, which do have those little micro glitters in them. They are so gorgeous, and I definitely want to purchase more colors in the next year. I have 2 Colourpop Supershocks that I want to talk about. The first one is the shade in Ladybird, which is one of their ultra glitter formulas, and this is such a gorgeous champagne shade. I know this is one of their best sellers as well. I've heard really good things about Ladybird, and then I finally purchased it earlier this spring. As you can see, I do have some pretty big pan on it. So this is Ladybird swatched out. It is super gorgeous. This is definitely one of my favorite shadows I've tried this year, and I think it's one of Colourpop's best Super Shocks they've put out. And then we have the shade in Ritz. This one is an ultra metallic formula, which I think it should be an ultra glitter as well because it is very glittery. I have a little bit of pan in this one. I ended up panning one of these earlier this year, and then I went to Lisa's back in October and she gave me hers. I sanitized it, of course. I'm so happy to have this one again. I also recently just purchased a backup because I had a Colourpop gift card, and I'm excited to get that in the mail for once I eventually finish this one, which I know I'll be able to pan this year. So here's Ritz compared to Ladybird. Ritz does have more of a neutral brown undertone and it is a little bit deeper, but the reflection and the glitters are almost the same. Super gorgeous. I love Ritz for like no makeup days, or if you want to have a nice sparkly lid and you can deepen up your crease and outer corner. Looks gorgeous either way, and these are definitely two of my favorite Supershocks from Colourpop ever. Lastly, for eyes, I want to have a brief mention for my Profusion Metallics palette. This was my pan palette for the later half of 2020, and I did use up a ton of product in this palette, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because I still love this palette. This is a really nice, neutral, and colorful metallic palette. The quality is pretty nice. It is a $13 or $14 eyeshadow palette, and if you want to play around with color, but you don't want to like buy a bunch of colorful mattes, I would recommend this palette because you do get some gorgeous neutrals in here as well, but you get some beautiful pops of color that would look really nice on the lid, and I've done so many different looks with this palette. Lastly, we have the lip products, and as we know, in 2020 we have to wear masks now, and when I'm wearing a mask, I don't like to have a lip product unless it's a lip balm underneath my mask, because then it just gets on the mask and it just is gross and like uncomfortable for myself personally. So I have been wearing a bunch more of like lip balms and even like lip glosses this year. So my favorite lip balm from this year is the Badescu Rose lip balm. I think I am like about halfway done. I'm close to like probably about right here. It is very hydrating, and I feel like this has saved my lips over the summer when I got like sunburn, or in the winter when they're super dry. But this has been really nice for my lips and my favorite lip balm of this year. And I've also been loving glosses, so I have two glosses. This one is the Covergirl Exhibitionist lip gloss. I don't think it has a shade, but it is more of a kind of like glittery golden rose lip gloss, and it is very comfortable. It's not super glossy, but it smells like vanilla, and it does just feel like a lip balm on the lips. It is very comfortable. I have it on top of a liquid lipstick today, but I've already been talking for a while, so it's probably almost worn off. So here is the swatch of the lip gloss compared to the lip gloss itself. It is pretty sheer. This one was sent to me from Influencer earlier in like January, and I didn't expect to love it so much, and I might repurchase it after I finish all my other lip glosses, but for now and this year it has been a favorite. I discovered this lip gloss in the fall time, and I just think it's freaking gorgeous. This is the Milani Keep It Full Lip Plumper and Lip Gloss, and this is the shade Prismatic Peach. I don't think the camera's gonna do it justice, but this is the Milani gloss compared to the CoverGirl one, and here's the gloss compared to the swatch. It is so beautiful. I love wearing this on the lips. It does have more of a like slightly menthol-y type of smell and taste to it, and it is tingly but doesn't hurt. I love this. I would love to purchase more shades. My final product for my favorites video is the Morphe Cream Lipstick in the shade Forever. It's a super flattering nude on myself, and it does give a little bit of depth to my lips. It is a mostly cool lipstick, and I think it would look really gorgeous in the fall as well. Hopefully at some point in 2021 we'll be able to go without masks and we can wear lipstick in public again, but I'll honestly probably be pretty nervous when that happens. But anyway, I absolutely love these lip products from this year. So that is it for my best makeup products of 2020. I am so glad this year's over. I'm actually filming this on New Year's Day, and I'm excited to get this up. But let me know your favorite makeup product of 2020 down below, because I might check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I also have a horse channel if you want to check it out. It is called C&K Equestrian. I'll have it linked down below. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.